This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy. Confessions is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Tonight, a lady comes to us with a confession that says she changed her religion and things are not too well. I'm curious to know where she went from and where to and what is happening in her life. Here, we take people's real challenges, people's secrets, people's stories, and we turn it around and make it a conversation that is beneficial for you and I. Good evening. Let's get talking. Without any sense of judgment and with empathy, I would want to listen to this young lady's confession right here in the Confessions booth. You are welcome to Confessions, my lady.
Thank you.
Please go ahead with your confession. I am listening. The whole of Ghana is too.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Miss Nancy. I'm a 35-year-old woman with 11 siblings born and raised in a Muslim community where my father is an imam.
Okay.
I have been there worshipping Allah, doing all my duties as a Muslim lady. I went to Accra to visit my auntie, and I decided to start a small business because I realized that there's markets in Accra.
Yeah.
During my stay in Accra, my auntie is a firm Christian, so I decided to join her, go to church one Sunday. We went to church, and I found a sense of belonging over there.
Okay.
Every Sunday, I go to church with my auntie. Even days that she doesn't go, I go because I found peace and love over there.
Oh.
And my business started going so well, so I decided to relocate to Accra.
Okay.
During my break, I decided to go back to the village to see my father, and he strongly disapproved of my newfound religion.
Okay.
He was angry. He didn't even know what to do to himself. He decided to disown me, and I didn't know what to do. I was just sad, lonely, because like my parents are no more and everything. So I was just, I just didn't know what to do. I went back to Accra to see my auntie, and she decided to take me in.
Of course.
I was there for some time, and I found a man.
You did?
I found a man that I really liked, and he was also a Muslim, but like he became a Christian after.
Okay, another a Muslim that converted into
Yes.
Christianity. Awesome.
So we found love. His name is Hasid. Such a wonderful man. He has money.
Oh,
We decided to get married.
okay.
He needed the approval of my parents, but no one was there to be found.
Oh,
I went back to the village to see my father, and when I went there, he threw me out of his house, telling me he has nothing to do with me. There's absolutely nothing he has to do with me. I decided to contact my biological mother and my little brother. They helped me with the marriage arrangements
okay.
and everything. We got married, everything was going on well. It got to a point in my life, I realized nothing was going on well with me. My business was failing, my marriage was failing. I was finding it hard to give birth. Felt like my father's curses were following me everywhere I go. I decided to go and find a new job. I wasn't getting one. During all this period, during all my hardship, my Christianity was going on well. I had firm belief in Christ.
Yeah.
But this is my problem. I don't know what to do now. Because even though I have firm
Believe in Christ. Your life is not in the place that you would need it to be, right?
Yes, please.
And you feel that it's your father's words that are hanging over your life and your destiny.
Yes.
How do you want us to help you, my dear?
Honestly, I don't know how I want you to help me. I just feel like I need help. because even though I've spoken to my husband about it, I just feel like he's also having his own problems because apparently his work is not going on well for him too. So
Trouble all around you. But is your father still alive?
yes, he's still alive.
Yes. All right. So she left her faith and joined a new faith. She left, worshiping with Islam to worship with Christianity. Initially, things were awesome for her, and she got married to a man she adored, who was also a former Muslim that became a Christian. Now things are terrible for her. Things are terrible all around her, including her husband. She has a feeling that it could be her father's words, her father's curses that are hovering around her destiny and preventing her to grow. Let us go into the studios and get to know, understand, have a conversation about this. The words of our parents, the blessings, the curses thereof. How impactful can they make or unmake our destiny? This is Confessions on TV3. Now I am seated and we're going to make a conversation out of this lady's confession. I hope you all heard the confession. All right, guys, you're looking good. Give a clap for yourselves. It's good to have you all here. Most of you are from UPSA, right? Okay, good to have you. So you had the first comment?
Yes, Miss Nancy, we are back again.
Yeah, we're back again.
Miss Nancy, this is ridiculous. Why will you curse your own daughter because she wants to make a choice of worship? I believe there should be a freedom of worship, irrespective of your background, wherever you're coming from. There should be a freedom of that. And I think this old man is egocentric. She's selfish. He is selfish. Let me say that. Because he doesn't care about what others want.
No, this is not others. This is his own daughter.
Yes.
That he created. This is his own daughter that he has used his money to groom and raise, given her education, given her life.
Yes.
This is not just somebody.
Okay, Miss Nancy, but still now, she wants to make a choice in life. Life is all about choices.
And how do we even know that it's because her father disowned her and in anger said certain things that her life is not going as she wants it to be?
Miss Nancy,
how do we even know all of this?
I don't believe in that. If she says she wants to be a Christian and, focus on God, I think she should keep praying and fasting. She should consult pastors that can help her through that.
Hey, have you not prayed and fasted and consulted about an issue that doesn't seem to be going anywhere
I believe she has not sinned against the Father.
You think that she has not sinned against her father? No. That's a good one. Yes? Up here. Hey, Miss Blue and Red.
Good evening, Miss Nancy.
Hi.
Miss Nancy, I have a problem with the father. You know, we as kids, we can't be with our parents forever. And then they won't be with us forever to make decisions for us. And there is someone the daughter wants to live with for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And right now, the father is raining curses on the daughter, which is not good. If you don't like her being this one, going to marry someone who is also a Christian, you shouldn't have rained curses on her. You should have rather sit her down, explain things to her further than you raining curses on her because you are, you are mad at her.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think she should hold on to her own faith because her faith is her strength, and then that is her comfort. So she should do what she wants.
That is what the young lady and gentleman in the studio had to say. But I always tell you there are other people stronger, more knowledgeable. They are our resource persons. And tonight, for the first time, I invite Pastor Rico Nate to join us right here on Confessions. Okay, we have Pastor Rico on the show for the first time. Joining me in the hot seat is a gentleman we've all known and have loved on Confessions every now and then, George Bruno. Making you love, Pastor George Bruno, King of Kings International Church. It's good to see you. Thank you. A woman in the media, she has all the attention whenever she speaks. She is great at what she does, and if hosting marital and relationship shows were something that you'd go to school for, she'd have a PhD in it. Ladies and gentlemen, she is also a woman of God. Mami Yabua Esiedu. Let us welcome Mami Yabua Esiedu. Welcome Mami Yabua. The lady pastor. Mami, please have a seat. I was making sure that the gentleman will sandwich you, so that they can, you know, get off on the energies that you're
I feel very
you're feeling it, huh? It's good to have you. And Rev and Pastor, it's good to have all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Nancy.
So the conversation is about a young woman who decided to let go of her religion, that which she was born into, groomed into, after just one experience of another. Mami Yabua, I need you to speak also as a mother, raising your child. In this case, it is from Islam to Christian. Yeah. Imagine raising your child from Christianity and she grows up, or he grows up and says, I want to be a Buddhist, or I want to be a Hindus. As a parent, how should you take this information?
I would like, first of all, to thank you very much. I've not watched TV for quite some time, so I didn't know we had Ghana opera in the person of you, my darling. God bless you so much.
Thank you.
And I thank all of you, and I bless all of you. Your esteemed viewers at home as well. Yes, for me, when it comes to the issue of religion, I think I take it quite personal because everybody, the Bible says, raise up a child or train up a child in the way he or she should go.
So they do
so that
not
when
depart
he
from
goes, he or she goes, he will not depart from it. So just as you're saying, I quite side with the father in this particular case because the father has trained their daughter to be a Muslim. Yeah. They've trained her in all the ethics and everything. So he was definitely expecting her to grow up to become a Muslim. But I'm a Christian here. And
yes.
So I don't want to sound biased, but then I believe in my religion.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that being a Muslim is not a good religion or something, but then every child is a child when the mother or father has to train him or her up. So you will be the one to direct the person, instruct the person to go a particular way. But as the person grows, the person has the right to determine what he or she wants to do.
At what age does a child have
the
right to say that this is me?
It doesn't come by age. It comes with maturity.
Yes.
When the person can decide for him or herself, that's it. So it doesn't necessarily matter whether the person is young or old. So we can have very old people who are not mature. And yet you can have very young people who are very mature. So if the person wants to make a particular decision, that augurs for her life, and it's quite good for her. I don't think the father or a mother should intrude. Yours is to train the person up and make sure he or she gets the ethics that instills in her to make her a good person, not necessarily a religious or a spiritual person. Yeah. So instill in her good values so the person will go their own way.
That I agree. You can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, you can be a Hindu, you can be whatever religion and still be a terrible person. Yes. We are looking for good people in our society. Yes. So if
just
your child
instill in her good values,
turns out to be a good person, you have done your best as a parent. You shouldn't feel that you have failed, right? That's a good one. That's a good one. Also for Rico.
Miss Nancy.
You are a pastor.
Yes, please.
Your son wakes up and says that I am an atheist. Okay. God forbid. Or your daughter. that they do not even want to believe in any religion at all.
Okay.
How are you supposed to deal with this? How do you help your son by still being a father and still being a guide of his life without allowing their decision of if to worship or not to worship a divine deity to come in between the two of you?
I'll greet all your listeners and those who are watching us. The first thing I will do is I will introduce the love of God. The person needs love,
Yeah,
or my child needs love.
yeah.
So in trying to advise my child to be a Christian, you said if the child wants to be an atheist, so the person, I have to introduce the love of Christ to the person. Bible says we should teach the child the way he should go. And when he goes, he will not depart from it. So it's a way of teaching the child by setting good examples as a parent.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would do as a parent.
That you give them love, because at this
Love,
point,
yeah.
it's love that they still
Yeah,
need.
love.
Pastor George,
Miss Nancy,
you good?
very okay.
It is becoming a very open word. Children, the people we are raising, are having information and access to things. Until I became an adult, I didn't even know any other religion apart from Islam and Christian from childhood. At a point, after 20, I got to know that, oh, other people believe in other things. There are other religious books and all of that. These days, our children just take the tablets. They have information from as early as 6 years, 5 years, options that they are weighing. They can read, they can listen. Should we fight our children over religion?
My greetings to the cherished viewers out there. Thank you for the privilege to speak. Emphatic no. The answer is emphatic no. Everybody should do the right thing, both adult and children.
Yeah.
So, because you don't know who is watching you. Everybody, someone is taking after you.
Yes.
So what type of fruit are you leaving behind? What type of legacy are you leaving behind? So parents and children must have a good relationship.
Yeah.
I talk about relationship. If you have a good relationship with your children, having a problem with religion will not be the issue.
Yes.
Relationship, if your child chooses to be a Christian, support. Bless him or her. If your child chooses to be an Islam or Muslim, support. Bless him or her. What matters is let him or her do the right thing.
Yes.
If everybody in the world, if every Christian, every Muslim should be doing the right thing, the world will be a better place for you and I. Yes.
We just need good people in this world.
That's it.
Bottom line.
That's it.
Necessarily not so many Christians, nor so many Muslims. I'm speaking as the host of the show. I'm not speaking as a Christian. So do I know that somebody watching is making very judgmental opinions about these things? But we need good people in this world.
But you see, Nancy,
Yes, mommy.
if you are going to wait up for your child to grow into an adult before you start making certain decisions or teaching or directing the person, then you'll be a failed parent. Because just as we all grow our homes, what do we see? What do we teach our children when they are young? We start teaching them when they are toddlers, when they are very young.
Very young.
That's why you put your daughter or your son on your lap, even when the person is taking breast milk. You take your breast. When you are giving it to your baby to suckle, he or she would definitely not bring his ears.
No.
He wouldn't bring his eyes to
No.
it. Straight away, he will bring what?
Their
his
lips.
mouth. So it tells you that there's an innate thing, there's a nurturing thing a parent
That
should
tells
do.
a child
And the
what
child
to
also
use
comes
for
with
what.
something that we call the nature. So obviously there are things that God has already instilled in the child. So as the child is coming out, it is your responsibility as a father or a mother to start teaching the child as young as the child is, even as a baby. So you don't wait up for your child to start making certain decisions before you go in there and try to direct the person. Said you can't with tree mono. Was this a BSC ho? Now we train now you're watching so street a bed. And so you start it when the
Early.
child is
Catch
quite
them young.
Yes. So you don't wait up for your child to start making decisions on her own or on his own by going somewhere else, diverting into another religion. And listen, I quite differ with what my brother or my other pastor was saying, that you don't fight a child over religion. You do.
You fight until when?
Yes, you fight.
Until when?
Why? Because everybody believes in his or her religion.
Yeah.
What I believe in, I believe is the best. If I'm an atheist, then definitely I believe that's the best religion to go. So I'll fight my child over it. And I would want to instill into him or her what I think I believe.
But you are fighting and the child is not bending. They have made you aware that this is the path they are taking.
So
are
the fight is what we should be talking about. So you instruct
through
with love.
With love.
But you still instill discipline. You don't just leave your child to say he or she is choosing to go wherever he chooses to go.
I think that naturally there would be a period of trying to convince and bring them back.
I want to come in here. Please, my dear sister, if you don't have a good relationship, good rapport with your child or children, forget about love. Without relationship, you can't be here. It is the relationship you have with the whatever that made you to sit here now.
Yeah. Of course.
You must have a relationship with your children, cordial, close one.
Cordial relationship.
So that whatever you are teaching them, they will learn it fast.
You know how African parents, especially the fathers, are like? Yeah. They are just disciplinarians. Yeah. They are not having relationships. They only give instructions. No. And some parents are even so terrible that they give instructions without explanation.
That's it.
I remember that I had to fix my father's old house. And there was a particular tree there. And I told them, I was doing my landscape, and I said, cut it off. And when my dad came back, he was heartbroken because these were seeds that he brought all the way from Tel Aviv in Israel.
Of course.
Something that you cannot even find in Ghana at the moment to plant. And it grew in our land. And it was a source of pride for him that he had that plant in his house.
And you just cut it off.
Because I was not told that this is a special tree. This is the benefits of it. So I was just giving instructions. So at a point where I thought that the instructions were irrelevant, I let go of it. As parents, how do we instruct with understanding? Also for Rico.
It really starts from the beginning. It starts from the beginning. So when you are training a person and you're able to start very well, it goes to the end.
Yeah.
If you start very well, it goes to the end. So just as Our Lady was saying, we have to add love to it. Love is very important.
It is.
We are talking about a Christian parent, that the child lives and wants to serve another God, or even a Muslim, and the child says, I don't want to be a Muslim. There should be that relationship from the beginning. If it starts from the beginning, it will grow, and your child will never rebel against you and say that I don't want to serve your God. I don't want to be a Muslim. I don't want to be a Christian or anything. But then how you start with the child will go to the end.
Do we all agree that there are times that you do absolutely right with your child, but they still go wayward? Yeah. There are parents who need this encouragement.
Rebellion is part of upbringing. It comes with everybody. We've all been through it before. I quite remember when I was growing up, every dawn my mother would be praying, and to me, I thought she was disturbing.
Of course.
And then she would call me, we will all go to the hall, we sit together, and I'll just cover my head with my cloth. She would be thinking I was praying, but I was asleep. Why? Because I thought at that time she was disturbing me. But you see, here I am today. I'm a woman of God. I grew into it before I realized that, hey, without prayers, you cannot go further in life. So you see, I kind of understand it. Yes, with upbringing, just as my brother was saying, you have to do it in love. But you see, there are times that you have to instill discipline, whether your child likes it or not. You have to force him or her to do it. It's just like you seeing your ward or your child being sick, and the person doesn't want to take certain medications. But you know the medication is good for him or her. Or you see your child playing with a knife. Yes, you love him all right. He's insisting he wants to play with it. But you know where it's going to end up. So there are times you have to just stand on your feet, control things. Let's just say a child comes to you and say, Mommy, I want a tattoo. Yeah. Or I want to, I've done piercings. My boy, I could do her.
Hey, you don't want to talk about that one here. We are not talking about it today.
No, I want to tell you something. We've all rebelled before. And when we were rebelling, we thought we, per ourselves, even at the adolescent age, even at the early youthful stage, you would think that whatever you're doing is right. You might even go into a relationship, or that your mother or your father might see that your choice of spouse or partner might not be good for you. But when they talk about it first, all you see is what? Love. I'm in love. Why? Because indeed, you are in love. When you get closer to the person, all you get is the chemistry and yes, you want to touch the person. And you don't think about anything. At that time, you are not thinking of rent.
No.
You are not thinking about employment.
That's what you're using
are not thinking about
for,
anything.
love.
All you think about is the love, the chemistry between you. But somebody somewhere, sitting somewhere, who has gone through the meal, will just see the woman and see you. They do not need to even say anything.
Yeah.
They know that that relationship is heading towards
it will be your downfall.
So we have to talk through it. There are times we don't always have to allow our children to do the things according to what they want or something. We should instill discipline.
Thank you.
Whether good or bad. So
Thank you. That's a good one. Pastor George, I'm sure that tonight on the show there is a parent watching that is feeling down, that is feeling like a failure, just because a child, they grew up, groomed, reared in a certain way and manner with certain principles and certain religious virtues, are walking away from these virtues into their own way. Can you just encourage them and have them know that sometimes some children just don't go the way we want them to go, but they may not go the bad way either?
That's true. Parents out there, mother, father, I want you to know that your child or your children, God created them all. You are just only a caretaker.
Yeah.
So whatever way they have chosen to go, bless them. We need your blessings. Your children need your blessings.
Yeah.
Because with your blessings, they will go far in life. Everybody needs blessing from their parents.
Dad.
If you don't need their blessing, if you don't need a blessing from your parents, I tell you, you don't go anywhere. If you are a professor, whatever certificate you have, without the blessing of your father, without the blessings of your mother, you can't go far. God needs to bless you. Before God bless you, they will need to bless you first. So parents, give your blessing to your children. Whatever path they are choosing, let them go and let them do the right thing in the society so that the society will be a better place for you and I and for everybody as a whole.
That's a good one. This is Confessions on TV3 tonight. We are dealing with a young lady that says she feels that the curses of her father are ruining her life at this point. When we come back, we will talk about some of the spiritual things that parents can do for their children and not if they want them to prosper or not. This is Confessions. We'll be right back. You are welcome back. We are right here in the studios with Mame Yabua Esiedu, Pastor George Bruno, and Prophet Rico. It's his first time on Confessions, and we're making sure he's feeling wonderful. He's from the Christ Redeemed Glory Church. Mami, I didn't ask you for the name of your church or your ministry.
The prayer train is everywhere. I have an online.
The prayer chain. Yes, I've seen you online.
Train.
Train.
Yes.
Good.
On Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. It's
all over social media.
Then now I have a prayer center, a very big one at Esuboy in the Eastern region, close to Suhum.
I see. So that is where you are.
That is where I am now.
It's good to have you.
Yes.
You traveled all the way to come on the show.
All the way from the Eastern
Bless
region
you,
to
sister. Bless you. I'll do the same for you, yeah?
Yes.
You know I would. Yes. So we're talking about the effect of parents' words on the lives of their children, devoid of religion. Forget about the religion, whether they believe in something or not. As a parent, the things you say to your child, Prophet Rico, you are the prophet, right? You deal with words and all of that. How important are the things we say upon our children? Because I've seen parents that predicted that some of their children were not going to end anywhere, and they have ended very well. And some predicted that this was my child that I was pleased with, that he was looking forward to them becoming something, and they were lost along the way. The words of parents.
As parents, we must be very careful about our hearts. Bible said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So anything that comes from our mouth, it comes from the heart. So on all sides, whether a Muslim parent, a Christian parent, as parents, we must be very careful of the words that we speak. It shouldn't come out of anger.
But are they effective, the words we speak? Can't a parent say something and it will not happen?
Okay, let me come.
Good or bad?
So Bible says that he whom the Son sets free is free indeed forever. So if you become a Christian, like the case we are talking about, and your father is a Muslim and decides to curse you because you are a believer or you're a Christian, it depends on where you stand.
Yeah.
Are you really saved? Are you really saved? Because there is a stage in Christianity where your parents can leave you. Matthew chapter 19, verse 29. He said, anybody that leaves the father, the mother, the sister, the brother, house, field, it can even be your workplace. He said, the Lord will give that person 100-fold.
Yes.
And also eternal life. So it depends on, people can pretend that I am a Christian and live the Islam religion, but then they are not really standing well. But if you are standing well, then the words of whoever speaks against you, I don't think it will stand.
So this is Confessions, and just so you know that we're doing great work right here, we did our possible best to get a man from the Islamic religion to join this conversation so that we get to know if from the Holy Quran there is any place that allows parents to curse their children when they move from the religion or not, and if something like this is happening in a home, how parents should handle it and how the children should equally handle it. We were unable to get them into the studio, but I'm sure that we're speaking to them out there. So let's take a conversation from a religious leader in the Islamic religion, so we have the balance of this conversation. Don't go away.
Good evening, Mrs. Nancy, and thank you to your viewers on the Confession program. The issue concerning the lady who converted from Islam to Christianity and the father is not happy. It's a simple issue in the sense that it is not about her conversion to Christianity that brought about these issues pertaining to her spiritual life. It is about the father's curse. That is the problem. One thing is that curses come in different forms. Someone to curse with the mouth just to scare the child, and the one that comes deeper from the heart. I think the father cursed her and it's coming deep from his heart. In this way, the solution lies with the father if he's still alive. She has to go and apologize and seek for forgiveness from the father, even if she refused to convert to Islam, and let the father revoke the curse. In this way, she's safe. If not, if she's taking it lightly, it can easily become something that is her generation, from her children, and their children too. Sometimes these cases should not be taken lightly. She should have a way so that the curse will be lifted on her. This way, she has to ask for forgiveness from the father and for him to revoke the curse so that she will live free. Whether she has gone back to Islam or she is still a Christian, it's not a problem, but the problem is the curse. This kind of cases easily eat up. We call it epigenetics. It easily eat up and go through to her bloodline, children that she gave birth to, and through to that. These things easily go away in the 5th generation. By that time, these children and their children and their children have suffered a lot. So, Madam Nancy, if she's listening, she should take note that since the father is still alive, she should ask for forgiveness and also for the father to revoke the case. Thank you.
Okay, so we are welcome back into the studio. You heard what they had to say from the Islamic perspective. We are all worshiping one God. Eventually, we do not know what's going to happen, but go your truth. Let me know my truth and go by my truth. And let us, more importantly, live in love and in unity in the same world. See, there was somebody here that had a question or contribution?
Yes, it's a contribution, Miss Nancy.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to throw more light on what the man of God said. In my own views, I think the father is being authoritative, the mother has defaulted, and the girl has swayed. The reason why I'm saying that is that when it comes to even in the Bible, like we were saying here, that in Ephesians 6:2-3, it says that honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise that it may be well with you and you may live long on earth.
Yeah.
So it didn't say honor your mother and father. It brought the father figure first before the mother. So for her thinking that because her mother agreed with her and they went to get married and did everything, so she's right, she has swayed. And also the father there, she has to acquire all the respect for the father, go to him and find out why the father is finding it difficult to accept why she has become a Christian. So that if there is something that the father has to tell her, the father can, because in the Bible, there were men of God who made commitment with God.
Yeah.
Maybe the father has made some commitment with
That
God.
me and my house, we will serve the Lord this way all the days of our lives. That's a great point.
Yes. So I think she should go back to her father and ask more questions and find out. And secondly to that, also, we are not in America, we are not in Europe, we are in Ghana. You know that you should know your roots.
Yeah.
After life, there is death. When you die, who is going to bury you? That aspect as well. So this woman, we have to know whether or born and born papa so that when you die, we know who is burying you. You need to see all those things. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, under these circumstances, it's a very valid point because the Islamic way of burial and the Christian way are all very different. Now, let us look at how to put ourselves together when there are conflicts in the home. You know how mostly the mothers are supposed to be the ones that are always being the bridge between the father, who is known in Ghana or in Africa only as the disciplinarian. Fathers do not even compliment. We had a conversation a few weeks ago in the States, and I was telling my father and some family members that when my father tells me I'm looking beautiful, that this dress is decent on you and you look elegant, the day he tells me that this dress is not so decent and you are looking trashy, I will believe it. But if the only time I hear him, he's saying things that are not complimentary, when he gives me suggestions that are negative, I'm unable to take it because it comes from a place of, you are always having bad news about me. So as parents, shouldn't we be able to tell our children when they are right and not only when they are wrong too?
Indeed. You see, when it comes to the issue of parenting, a lot of us have failed because of the society in which we live. You see, we live in a society where everybody is so concerned with the father thing. Everybody is so concerned with what to eat, and especially so where every father is always struggling to put food on the table for his wife and children or something.
And so much.
It becomes a bit stressful for him. So mostly the fathers do not talk. So you go to a lot of homes. They don't even talk to their wives, let alone to their children. And so even when there are issues, so the children tend to like click more with their mothers than the fathers. And again, when it comes to the issue of religion, if the person is old enough to make their own decisions. So yes, you have trained him or her. She's gotten somewhere or he's gotten somewhere. And now he believes that this is the way I want to go. So with that one, yes, I do believe that the man is an imam and then he has a following and all that. But you see, you cannot control your children until they die.
Yeah.
You do it to a limit. You get to a certain extent and you realize that that's where it's ended up. Nothing can be done about it. So you just pray for them. So that is where I always insist on you instilling discipline in them. Because obviously, every child at some point in time will go wayward.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
There were times we will color our hair, we will do wild stuff. Every child goes through
something.
And so at that time, that is where, if you have given that child proper training or good nurturing, that is where it will start to show. Yes, so he will leave you, he or she will leave you, he will go into the world. But you see, because of that seed that you've planted in him or her, it will bring him back eventually when he becomes old. So
Pastor George?
I want to say something. Proverbs 14 verse 1 says, every wise woman builds a home. So if a child is going wayward, I blame the mothers.
Obvious.
So every wise woman builds a home.
Yeah.
So women have more relationship with
Control
children
over how children turn up
in the
more
house
than the men.
more than the man. So if a child is going wayward, I blame the mothers.
That is if the
If they are
man
doing
has
well,
given
I give credit to the mothers.
opportunity to do so.
If the children do well, we equally give credit to the mothers.
If
If
they
they
are-
go wayward, it's still the mothers.
According to Proverbs 14:1.
Yes.
So every woman must teach every child good morals. Have good relationship with them. Teach them the right thing. Respect your father. Respect me, your mother, so that you can be blessed. Always go for their blessings, their support in everything you are doing, so that you can be prosperous.
See,
on this earth.
when people have opinions, ask them of their backgrounds. Pastor George, where are you from?
He's
I'm
a
in
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
You are from Nigeria.
Nigerian.
Yes. Where he's coming from. That's how powerful parents are. Where we are
Nancy,
coming from.
if I may, let me come in.
Even your parents will tell you that. So we have different opinions, and it's all right. We are ending this conversation with our words of encouragement to this young woman. Mentally, she feels that it's her father's words that are hanging over her life, that she's not getting any progress. But for me, I know that with life, it goes up and it comes down. And it's not always that you're going through any negativity, that somebody or something is the cause of it. Sometimes it is just life happening to you. Can we encourage this young woman? Pastor Rico, I'll come to you.
Life has stages, as you said. It's not always smooth.
Yeah,
So we don't attribute some of our failures to curses.
yeah.
You go through stuff that God allows you to go through them. God, in his own way, can take you through some experiences to teach you. So you can be going through things. Don't relate it only to somebody's case. It can be God taking you through your process. You can go through a rough road, and tomorrow God will bless you. And it makes you appreciate those who are also going through the same thing. So we don't always have to, as Ghanaians or people who are watching, don't always attribute anything or everything to a curse. It's not everything that is a curse. Sometimes it can be a process you are going through. You can go through the dry season and meet the wet season tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. From the prophet's own mouth. I would have the woman have the last word because, you know, Pastor Bruno,
Yes.
she's going through it. Let us encourage her.
I will ask you to
My friend.
be prayerful
Yeah.
and have faith in God,
Yeah.
that God will touch the heart of your father to see reasons with you.
Yeah.
So whatever curse or whatever anger he's placing on you, that God should touch his heart
Yeah.
to turn into a blessing for you. Everybody needs the blessing of his or her father to go far in life.
Essential.
So in this your marriage, you need the blessings of your father. Pray. Pray. Keep on praying and keep on believing in God. God that created heaven and earth. God that created everybody. God said with him, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
God will still visit your father and give you reasons why he should bless you. Keep on praying. My advice to you is keep on praying and keep on believing in God. God will turn things around for you.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Mami Obuesedu.
The truth is that everybody goes through challenges. It is part of life. It is only when you are a child that you see things as smooth. Because when you are young, it's your mother and your father who feeds you. They are the ones who make sure you go to school. They get you your books, your shoes, your clothing and things. But as you are going, you do things by yourself. And here is the case. The lady says she's now gotten married. I'm sure you've been there before. You've been married. Marriage itself comes with its whole bag of challenges.
Yeah.
And so when you enter into it, if you don't take it, you might be thinking that somebody has done something to you. Because you'll be going through a whole lot. You might, if you are studying as a married woman, it will be very difficult.
Yeah.
If you are working, if you have a child, if you have children, if you have to get your own place, it comes with its own difficulties. And so I believe that, just as my brother said, there are challenges that one needs to go through it. So she should understand it. It's a new phase. It's a new stage in her life. So she should face it head on. And then try to implement certain things that will earn her income. Because listen, all these things we are talking, I just want to find out if she has money. I'm sure everything boils down to money. And if it boils down to money, then it means that you have to open up your tent. Open up your tent. Do something else. Find some avenues to make money. If you have to learn. If you have to learn a trade or something, do it. So that you ease certain things. But hey, whether we like it or not, anybody that goes into marriage, when you start having children, a whole lot of things will come. There will be a whole lot of changes, even with your body, let alone with your spouse and other things. So she shouldn't just concentrate on the fact that she's going through all that. But if she knows that the father is alive, I want to reiterate this, the father is alive. But when it comes to the fight against religions, nothing will be done about it. Nothing can be done about it. The father will not budge unless she rescinds her idea and comes back to, yes. And so with this one, she should just pray about it. And then continue being good. And then continue with life.
Thank you. For you watching us tonight, going through a challenge and wondering if it's coming from your hometown, your mother's side, or your father's side, and every time you are thinking that somebody is after you, beloved, I came to tell you that that is life. Sometimes life happens to you, and it happens to you good, and it happens to you bad, and it's not always that somebody is after you. And to you, the parents watching us today, let me just make this statement. You cannot be parenting your children for the rest of their lives, even though you would forever remain their parents, but you cannot be parenting them. At a point, you would have to allow them to live their own lives with their own experiences and their own values and principles. So from afar, you would appreciate what you were able to inculcate in them. When that time comes, put your tools down as parents and enjoy your children as your friends. This has been Confessions on TV3. Same time next week, we come to you again by kind courtesy of MTN